Well, water is one of the world's most powerful forces over millennia. Obviously, rivers can reduce a mountain to rubble, but surprisingly, water also has some tremendously powerful applications for industry, even for the oil sands, where under pressure, it can have the strength of a laser. Now, to talk more about that and some of the technology that's actually being applied using water, joining me now is Steve Omer, who is Regional Sales Manager, Senior Regional Sales Manager for OMAX Corporation. We're going to see a little bit of video in just a couple of seconds about what it is that you do, but we're talking about water cutting technology here. Can you explain to me what exactly you do?
That's correct. What we offer is we're a manufacturer of what's called an abrasive water jet. We pressurize water to 55,000 pounds and then force it through a very small orifice. The orifice is about 14 thousandths of an inch. When it goes through that orifice, it creates a jet. The jet's traveling at 3 times the speed of sound. At that point, we inject some abrasive,
right.
It's called garnet, and what's doing the cutting is the garnet. The water carries the garnet to the material. So what we offer is a real unique way of processing materials, whether it's tubes or flat material, steel, titanium, aluminum, composite material. It's a very efficient way to cut with using no heat.
No heat at all. So, I mean, let's talk a little bit about that, because obviously
right.
that would have advantages over some of the other technologies out there. I mean, you have metal
Correct.
on metal. You can have, I mean, you can cut with everything from acetylene, right up to
right.
lasers, I guess. But those all create tremendous amounts of heat.
Absolutely. And what the heat does is it'll affect the material. It'll warp the material. It may even harden the material. So with our water, we're able to provide absolutely clean material with no heat affected zone.
Now we're looking at some of the video from
Correct.
your demonstration video here. Tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here.
Right. What we have here, we're cutting some stainless steel. Right now we cut 1/4 inch stainless steel here for kind of giveaway parts, and you see it's cutting right now underwater, and it's a relatively quiet process when cutting underwater. Right, what you see there, that's the actual pattern we're cutting. With the software, it has a CAD/CAM system associated with it,
right,
and a drawing package, but typically folks are downloading files into the system. Right here, he's just cleaning off the part to take it out of the tank, and you see that there's our workpiece. Very little force is actually put onto the workpiece. It's actually, and there you see our part that had actually been cut.
So that was all cut using water?
Yes, water and garnet.
That's amazing.
Yes. And we can cut thick materials as well.
How thick?
I saw a guy the other day cutting 12-inch material, 12-inch steel. Not typically profit-driven in that sense, but we find the most effective ranges are about 6 inches and under. In that 6-inch and under range, we'll hold tolerances plus or minus 5 thou, and then when you get down to say 2 inches and less, plus or minus 3 thou, 3 thousandths of an inch is certainly possible. So it's a very high tolerance, very accurate piece of machinery.
Now, you're based out of Seattle. You're here at the Oil Sands Trade Show
yes.
in Edmonton. What are the applications here for the oil sands?
Right. We have quite a few customers here in town that use our equipment for cutting heat exchangers, flat plates and heat exchangers, valve assemblies, flanges. A lot of job shoppers that use it. So it goes across industries in a lot of different ways. So we find the applications are relatively limitless.
Have you already got a fair amount of penetration into the industry, or are you just sort of at that stage where you're trying to kind of break in?
Well, for us, we have over 1,500 machines in use worldwide,
right.
And I think in the market up here, our penetration is certainly growing as folks learn about the technology. And how we kind of gauge it is, the folks that are new to the technology, they'll come and ask us, what is it? How
right.
thick can it cut? What do you use it for? And
you obviously have to use a lot of water here. I mean, there are advantages. There are probably some. I don't know if that's a disadvantage, but sort of how does it compare in terms of you have access to water, etc.
Right.
How will that compare, and how will it compare cost-wise to,
right.
For instance, lasers or
Since we're forcing the water through such a small orifice, 14 thousandths of an inch, it uses relatively little water. It's 1 gallon of water per minute when cutting. It uses about 3/4 of a pound of garnet per minute when cutting as well.
Right.
And cost advantage is somewhat application specific. On average, you're looking at about $25 an hour when cutting to run an OMAX Waterjet.
All right. Fascinating stuff. I thank you for coming in and telling us about it, and we'll be watching.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. That is Steve Omer, who is Senior Regional Sales Manager for OMAX Corporation, and we've been talking about very high pressure water jet cutting.